These are the AirPods Pro, the best of the best wireless earbuds, and this is the Sony XM3, the best of the best noise cancelling headphones. Now these devices were made for very different reasons, so it may seem, outrageous. It may seem outrageous to compare the two, but who cares? They both play audio, so which one provides the better audio experience overall? Well, let's start with which one sounds better. Which has better audio quality? Well, they both sound good. Actually, they both sound great. When it comes to sound quality, they're both one of the best in their respective categories. When you compare them to each other though, and you put them side by side, you see that the AirPods Pro sound very, very good, but not as good as the Sonys. You'd think this is kind of expected, and you'd be right. They're both top-notch in their categories, but the Sony's category, the actual over-ear noise-canceling headphone category, is overall just better than the wireless earbud category, where the AirPods fall under. Well, when it comes to sound quality at least. And the prices show that too. If the AirPods were to sound better than the Sonys, there will be no reason to buy the Sonys. In fact, it'll be embarrassing for the Sonys. But the AirPods are good enough to embarrass some headphones on the same price range as the Sonys. I mean, they've done it before. When you listen to a song on the AirPods Pro, it'll sound very, very good. But when you switch to the Sonys, it won't just sound very good, but you'll start to notice things you couldn't hear before with the AirPods, like the drums, the little keyboard melodies added to the song, and even the separation of voices in the track you're listening to if it's like a duet or a choir. Like the sound is just more full on the Sonys, and it provides a kind of quality and listening experience that the AirPods Pro or any other wireless earbud just cannot. There's like just more space in the sound, you know, just more quality. And that's with the standard out of the box settings. And with those same standard settings, the bass on the Sonys are crazy. You can really hear every boom, boom, boom. The AirPods can't match them with its standard settings. It can't match them with its bass booster equalization setting or any other setting either. And that's with the standard settings on the Sonys. If you want to customize the settings, then it won't even be close to fair anymore. The Sonys will go toe-to-toe with any other headphones because of how much you can customize it to how you like. You can mess with almost everything about it, from the 360 sound to the EQ settings to much more. The 360 sound isn't fully developed though. I mean, you can pick what direction the sound comes on from and it actually works pretty well. But for the full feature 360 sound, I mean the one that Sony's been talking about, the one that's supposed to sound like you're in the actual studio with your favorite band like right there, well, it's not there yet. Not a lot of songs support it, and it only works with 3 apps, and they all want you to pay for a premium subscription or get on a free trial to use it. I actually tried it myself on Tidal, and it actually sounded kind of bad to me. Actually kind of horrible. Everything was just so sharp to my ears. I then tried some of the same songs on Deezer, and this time, it was mind-blowing. I wouldn't say it felt like I was in a studio with the artist though. It just felt like there were 8 Britney Spears around me just singing at me, and it sounded beautiful. Until more songs have this feature though, I'm not sure how useful 360 sound is, no matter how much I liked it when it worked. If you like bass though, you can even turn it all the way up and add extra with the Sonys. Till this day, I don't know a device that can match the Sonys when it comes to bass. You can also mess with the noise cancellation settings and change the levels from noise cancelling to up to 20 different levels of transparency. Speaking of noise cancelling and transparency, which does it better? First, which cancels noise better? Well, the AirPods do a great job again. They're actually very impressive, and they even beat out some headphones more expensive than the Sonys, but they're not quite as good as the Sonys when it comes to noise cancelling. I'll say the Sonys are a good 30% better when it comes to noise cancelling, and you can even make it optimize the noise cancelling for you and your environment so it can be the best it can in different situations. Now, transparency on the other hand is pretty good on the Sonys as well. When you're in full transparency mode or ambient level 20, well, the noise cancellation will obviously be off, but it also turns on the mics on the outside and plays whatever it hears straight into your ears. It's kind of cool, and you'll be able to hear things around you, but not like you're actually there. Like it won't sound natural exactly. You'll be able to hear your environment and everything, but you'll be able to tell it's a microphone assisting you. Like you're not in your environment, but you're making a phone call to your environment. But then the phone call quality is pretty good because the microphones do a good job. You know, it's kind of weird. You can also make them let you hear people's voices while it's simultaneously blocking out all the other noise, and that works pretty well as well. If you want to call actual people though, then you want the microphones to be good, obviously. Right now you're listening to me through the Sonys, and you can hear how they sound for yourself. And now these are how the AirPods sound. Now see, I don't really have any complaints with either of them, and to be honest, I don't know exactly how they sound. I've never had to worry about phone call quality or whatever. And the people I talk to never complain. So I'll say they're both good enough here. Now as for transparency on the AirPods, you can't just focus on just voices with the transparency mode. But as far as normal transparency goes, it is not a contest. It is not a competition at all. The AirPods Pro not only beats the Sonys, I'm telling you that if this was a tight contest between the AirPods Pro versus your actual ears, it'd be a tough one, like tight call. I'm not exaggerating either. I've gone around searching for my AirPods while they were on my ear. Now that's a bit of an insult to me, but it's a big compliment to the transparency mode of the AirPods Pro. I'm not kidding. They sound like they're not even there, like it's just hearing normally. As far as transparency goes, the AirPod Pros are the best I've ever used. I'll be surprised if they're not the best in the world. None of these things will matter though if there's no power in your devices for transparency or noise cancelling to even work. So how is the battery life of each? Well, let's not focus on the specs Sony and Apple tell us. We have something better, my extensive real-world experience. And in my experience, the AirPod Pros aren't bad. They last about 4 to 5 hours before needing to go in the case, and the case charges them back pretty quickly. The case's battery lasts about 2 days as well. As for the Sonys, they don't know how to die. The last time my AirPods battery died was about a couple days ago, I guess. The last time my Sonys were dead was, I don't even know. I can't remember. It wasn't this week though, or last week, or the week before that, or the week before that, or the week before. I don't even think it was last month. And I used them a lot. They're supposed to last about 30 hours with noise cancelling on, but in my experience, I find that I don't even charge them much. I find myself plugging them in occasionally. Like every couple of days I just see them and think, oh, I haven't charged you in a while, and then I plug them in. With the AirPods Pro case, I have to charge it once every 2 days. I use the AirPods Pro extensively as well, and I'm not saying that I charge it about every 2 days. I'm saying I must charge them every 2 days. If I don't, the battery on the case and the AirPods themselves would be dead, 0%. So yeah, I worry about battery way more on the AirPod Pros. It's not even a thing for me with the Sonys. In fact, while I was making this video, I decided to use the heck out of them. I mean like non-stop use. And I had to charge them at the end of every 2 days. That's pretty good. To be honest, even the AirPods are pretty good because with the case, they can last me 2 days as well. 2 days, 48 hours. That's a pretty long time to not worry about charging your device. Imagine a long 48-hour trip and you have to pick either your AirPods or your Sonys. Your Sonys will last you probably the entire trip, and you'll only kill it if you spend every single second you're not sleeping with it on your head, listening to music with the volume turned all the way up with noise cancelling on maximum. And to be honest, you still might not be able to kill it. I've used the Sonys for over a year, and you know the prompt that it's supposed to tell you when the battery dies? I've only heard it once, I believe, or maybe twice. I think it says battery low, charge battery, I don't even know. Ask any other Sony user, I don't think they know either, because the Sonys just don't die enough, really. Now let's say you pick the AirPods for the trip. First, you won't be able to use them non-stop for the whole trip, because they'll die in the first 5 hours. But that's only if they literally stay on your ears for the 5 hours, playing music non-stop with noise cancelling on, and never going back in the case. If you put it in the case at times though, then you'll be able to listen to music for the entire trip, just like with the Sonys, except that they'll be dead for sure at the end of the 2 days, or they might even die a little bit sooner. But you would have to use it and the Sonys in this unrealistic way for them to even die at all like this though, you know? The battery on the Sony seems way more impressive on paper compared to the AirPod Pros, and it actually is in real life too. But in real life use, they're both way past the good and acceptable point that you don't have to really worry about battery life for both of them. They'll last during your trips just fine. What's maybe more important then is how enjoyable they'll be on the trip, how comfortable they'll be, how seamless they work, and just the whole experience. To be honest, you might not want to use the Sonys on the trip. I mean, they're nice, but you're gonna notice it's there. And situations like these, like when you're trying to sleep, they're not even comfortable anymore, you know, just like all of the headphones, they push up on your ears, you know? You can't use it with every outfit, they'll get in the way of your hoodies and fancy hats, and apart from the great listening experience, other parts of the experience will actually be better on the AirPods Pro. They won't get in the way of any outfit you want to wear. In fact, you might even forget you have it on at times. Like, you wouldn't even notice it's there. It'll almost just be like it's a part of you. The thing with the AirPod Pros is that they're the definition of seamless. Nothing else can compete, not even the Sonys. The Sonys do have some seamless qualities though. One of the ways it handles transparency, for example, is very clean and simple. You just put your hand over the right surface of the headphones and you can instantly hear everything. You take your hand off and it's back to silent. With the AirPods, you have to squeeze and hold the bottom of either pod. They work consistently and are pretty seamless, but this is one area I'll say the Sonys are more seamless, like for real life use. It even has a mode where it turns on noise cancelling where you're stationary and like sitting in one place, but then turns on transparency when you're moving again so you can hear your surroundings. And with all the customizability settings of the Sonys, you can really make them very seamless, especially for you specifically. The AirPods would probably still be the more seamless experience though. I mean, they were literally designed for that purpose. This will really show itself if you want to work out during your trip. You're not even going to want to think of using the Sonys if your workout is more intense. It's too bulky and will just get in your way. There's something else to worry about though, because these are actually my second pair of Sony headphones. My first ones got damaged actually. I think it was water damage because I sweat a lot and the Sonys have no water resistance rating whatsoever. This isn't an issue with the AirPods. I work out with them all the time. They have an IPX4 water resistance rating, which is supposed to protect it against sweat and light splashing of water like in light rain, but this isn't exactly true. See, one time, I remember I was listening to music and having some me time, when I was too relaxed and forgot I had the AirPods on, like you normally do with the AirPods, and I just went into the water completely. But then I heard music still playing, so I jumped out and I was really hoping nothing was wrong with the AirPods, but the music never stopped playing. The AirPods didn't even flinch for a second. To them, nothing happened. They just got a little cleaner. Don't be stupid though, don't do that. Do not do this at all. That's not what I'm saying. But if you were to be stupid one time, and maybe a second time for your YouTube video for the sake of your subscribers, it seems like you'll be fine with the AirPods. But don't even think about trying it with the Sonys. Now, apart from all I've talked about, there's also some other little things to keep in mind when comparing these devices. Your AirPods Pro will be useless for gaming with your PS4. The PS4 can't connect to Bluetooth headphones. It can connect to the Sonys though, not with Bluetooth, but by using a 3.5mm cable, but it can't connect. Charging might also be an issue, depending on who you are and what cables you use. The AirPods Pro case charges using Apple's Lightning cable, and the Sonys use USB-C. Now, USB-C is the future, and these days you can charge just about all of your devices with it. But some people might not be there yet and are still living in the present, where a lightning cable might be better for them. Speaking of charging, both devices claim to have some quick charge feature where you charge it for a short time and have it last for a long time. Now, with exact timings aside, that is actually true. If you charge both of them for just a couple minutes, they'll provide way more than a couple minutes of battery life. I'm talking hours. This is one of the many great things about these two devices. They do have some not so great things about them though. The Sonys apparently start to act funny in really cold weather. They start increasing the volume, playing and pausing songs, and registering a bunch of touches even though nobody's touching them. Nah, I actually haven't had this problem at all. I've used it for over a year, through all the seasons, hot, cold, in between, and it's actually never ever happened to me. But if you look right here, you see that, yeah, it's kind of sunny outside, right? That's because I live in Texas and it doesn't get as cold here as it does in other places. So some other people might have to actually worry about this. Not me though. As far as the AirPods, well, you know how they try to be seamless, like very, very seamless? Well, they make mistakes at times. Most of what the AirPods do is automatic. It pauses your music when you take it off, plays it back when you put it back on Apple devices only though. You take off just one and put it in the case, that one goes off and starts charging while the other one just continues to work just fine. But it won't have noise cancellation on anymore though, because you need both of them on for that to work. So you put the other one back on and noise cancellation just comes on automatically. Yeah, everything's just seamless. But then, as you still have it on, you might just think one's not in your ear and turn off noise cancellation. But then it'll realize that it is in your ear and then it'll turn it back on. Some other times, one will be on the table or something in just the right or rather wrong position, and it'll detect something's in the way and think it's your ear. So it'll play some music, then decide, oh, it's not your ear, so it'll pause your music. But then maybe be like, no, it is your ear, and then play the music again. To be honest, it's not really that big of a deal in real life. I mean, the AirPods are smart. You have to trick it in a specific, exact way for this to happen, and it doesn't happen so much. But I have noticed it does happen more with Android devices as opposed to iOS devices. And also you can tell the volume of the AirPods on the iOS devices. You can do it on Android as well, but you have to download an app. It's not as clean as just straight iOS, The Sonys, on the other hand, don't discriminate between iOS and Android. So which is the better device for our audio listening needs, our audio listening experience? Well, taking everything into consideration, I can really see this being an actual tough one for some people. But for this comparison, we have to ask, what would you be losing if you switch from the Sonys to AirPods? Sound quality? Well, yes, but how much? Well, a decent amount. You'll also be downgrading when it comes to noise cancelling, and you'll be losing all the cool features the Sonys have, like different levels of transparency, the ability to focus on voice and cancel all of the noise, being able to quickly cover the side of the headphones to hear instantly and seamlessly. Although you won't miss this as much because the AirPods are pretty seamless too. Even more so actually. The Sonys are very seamless for the headphones they are, but when it comes to seamlessness, they really can't match earbuds, especially the most seamless and capable earbuds in the world, the AirPods Pro. You won't be missing the 360 audio as well, but you might in the future if they get pretty good. And there's also the other features you might have gotten used to. Oh, and you kinda are gonna miss the battery, because now you'll actually have to remember to charge your AirPods and use it with the case properly if you want good battery life. On the Sonys, the battery life is just unreasonably good. Okay, but what if we flipped it? What would you lose if you switched from the AirPods to the Sonys? Well, not sound quality, but you would lose a lot of seamlessness though, and now you'll actually know that you have headphones on. You definitely also be downgrading when it comes to transparency mode as well. Oh, and every time you want to switch devices, you'll have to disconnect and reconnect and disconnect and reconnect, disconnect, reconnect. With the AirPods, as long as you've paired before, you can seamlessly switch between all your devices. Android, iOS, Windows, Nokia, it doesn't matter. So which is the better device for our sound experience? Well, the Sonys do a lot for the sound part, and it isn't lacking the seamless experience part either. But the AirPods are just about the best for the seamless experience part. And although it isn't bad for the sound part, in fact it's good at it, but it just can't compete with the Sonys. The sound part is the most important part. And even when I dress light and I go out with the AirPods listening to music, I always wish it was the Sonys I was listening to. I always wish I could have taken the Sonys if I wasn't dressed this way. That basically summarizes why the Sonys are the winner today. Not outrageous. Not outrageous at all. The Sonys have been out for like 2 years now, and they're still the best consumer noise cancelling headphones. Is anything gonna beat it?